Good evening, everybody, and welcome to another episode of the Rip Roaring Reds. My name is Grev. I'm joined by Jace, and obviously you can see another individual on the right-hand side. We're joined by a special guest this evening in Rocky Nico. Lads, how are you doing on this fine evening?
Yeah, I'm great, man. I'm happy. The season's back underway, and just really excited and honored to be here, of course, on this pod.
Thanks, man. How are you doing, Jace?
Yeah, I'm good. It's Happy Marino Day, right? Ornstein's dropped it. That means it's official, right? You don't need to wait for a club statement anymore. It's done.
Yeah,
done. So yeah, I'm not too bad. Happy. Looking forward to. I keep seeing Nico Williams come up on Twitter. I'm like, oh, come on.
I think you just have to make your peace with it, Jace. It's just not going to happen.
I reckon it's going to go like Thomas Partey, like deadline day, activate release clause, just get done all under the carpet. Like that's how it's going to happen.
No, I've been too burnt by Lamar, by Jan Villa over the years. It's just past it, Jace.
Have faith, my friend. Have faith.
Right, well, if you're joining us for the first time, I really do appreciate. Please do give this video a like. Please do give the channel a subscribe, and do leave a comment down below, as we're going to be talking about in a new format for this podcast. It's called the Rip Roaring Fives. We're going to be talking about, with Rocky, our top 5 Arsenal kits of all time. But before we just go into that, I want to just give Rocky the opportunity to introduce himself and talk a little bit about how you got into Arsenal.
Cool. So, my love for Arsenal, really, growing up, I didn't really have a choice. So, I grew up in Holloway Road, literally about 5 minutes away from the ground. Well, Highbury was always on the other side to where I am, so I'm more like near Finsbury Park area. But yeah, I've always been sort of local. My granddad came here in this area in like the 70s. So from then on, he was just, an Arsenal fan naturally. So it just was passed down to my mom, now to me, and will be passed down from then on from me as well. So it's kind of crazy, man. Like this growing up, just being close to the action, especially now we're at the Emirates, everything is just so close to me. And, if I was to ever miss a game growing up, it would just hurt, So thankfully now I'm older, I can sort of afford to go, and I never miss a game. The Arsenal was it's in my blood, man. I never miss it or say no to the opportunity. So yeah, I'm blessed to be close to one of the best clubs in the world, if not the best.
Yeah, you're making both probably me and Jace jealous going. So we both live probably about 50 miles west of London, and so it takes us a good 2 hours when we're up, and always enjoy that walk down Holloway Road when we're going to games. It's like, as you sink and stoke up all that atmosphere as you're walking down, to be in that atmosphere every single game day. Yeah, I can admit it's making me a little bit jealous, to be honest.
I've considered buying a house there so many times, but it's just too much money.
Yeah, I mean, I had someone at work say to me today, and they were like, "Oh, I live actually like those flats that just like a stone's throw away," and I'm like, "That is, yeah, crazy."
That's the dream, though. Like I know a few people that I've met through just like locally, like whether if they're on the Tollington every now and again, and they're like, "Oh yeah, this is my view," and they literally live above the museum, and they've got like the North Bank in their sight and the Tony Adams statue, and I'm thinking, God, you're living the dream.
Maybe you take it for granted. I don't know if you just see it every day. You know what I mean? When you get to like, yeah, but I know it. Like that is the thing. Is the person that would have talked to me, they didn't even like football. That's what wound me up.
Yeah, that's
like, can't be dealing with that. Right, so what the format is of Rip Roaring Fives, we're going to try it for the first time, so you might see some teething problems, who knows, but we're going to start at 5, we're going to work our way down to 1, and we're going to talk about our favourite Arsenal kits of all time. Now, what we're going to try and do is score each one of those kits, so if you're 5th, you'll get 1 point, if you're 4th, you'll get 2 points, and so on, and then hopefully, at the end, we'll have the definitive Arsenal kit that we all believe is the number 1. So we've we've got these either paper or card or something to write on. So if you want to write on your board or piece of paper what your number 5 is, and then we will get into it.
This is fun.
Well, I've had to think a lot, and I know that Jace has probably been thinking a lot as well, because there's just too many choices.
Of course.
I think that's the problem. We got a lot. Although I'm going to throw this out there before we get started, Rocky, to see if you agree. I'm assuming in your list there is no Puma kits. Would I be correct?
Yeah, you're correct. Yeah. There's one that's in like my top 10, which is the 16-17 home.
Okay.
Okay, I can see that.
When we beat Chelsea in the FA Cup, that was
Yeah.
beautiful vibe, a beautiful kit. So that's like probably 8th. But
that's what we went to, right, Jace?
Yeah, I'd agree with that as well. Grev, do you know why? That's my Hector Bellerin shirt.
Oh,
Jace loves Hector Bellerin.
That's sick. No, I love it.
Okay, right. Let's try and get into number 5 then. After 3, I want you to turn or show your card and we'll see where we're at. After 3, 2, 1.
Whoops, there's my camera.
Yeah, everyone's doing the same thing. So we've all got a little bit different then. That Barca win. Right. I'll tell you what, Rocky, 98-99 home. That is a lovely kit. Tell me what that kit means to you and why it's your number 5.
You know what? I didn't get to see us like playing it because I was born in 2000. But just watching the season review, I know we just fell short of the title, but just that kit is just so classy with the collar, just Dennis Bergkamp in it was just amazing. Just the fit of it, like I've had quite a few of them in my collection, and they're just so nice with the champions patches. It's just a classy shirt, man, and the navy in it is just it's beautiful as well. So that's 5th for me.
Is it that one behind you, Jace?
Yeah, it is that one.
It is that one behind him, right? Because that is you're right. It is a very nice kit. I recently just bought this one myself, and I think it is a very nice kit. And it's got the flex. Well. I like those. You're right, because those boxier kind of fits that they do in the older shirts are the fit of them nowadays is much nicer, I would say.
Yeah,
it's a great kit. I love it. I was debating on a number. I'm not going to tell you if it's in or not, but I was struggling with that one especially. It's a personal favorite of mine, hence why it's on my door.
Love it.
Go on then, Jace. Tell us a little bit about that Barca win.
Yeah, so this kit I absolutely love. I need to get it repaired because it's currently for me, my Emirates is like flicking off. But I got it. It was one of the last kits that I remember them doing at home with felt lettering, number 1. And I love the felt lettering, right? So name and number. And I had Wiltshire 19 on the back. It was Wilshire's, like, I don't know if it was breakthrough season. He may have come through the year before, I think. But it was like his most memorable season, an Arsenal shirt. It was when he competed and went toe-to-toe at Barca. Do you remember the game? I think Fabregas broke his leg taking the penalty and we scored the winner. Yeah. 2-1. So it was that kit. The reason so not just the win and the memories that gives me, but also just the look and feel of it. So it's a classic Arsenal shirt. And what I mean by that is it's red, it's white. It had a slight red kind of collar around here. Red collar around the bottom and a white collar around the top. But it's just the vintage Arsenal colors, like from the 1970s kits. And then literally it's just got a Nike badge and an Arsenal badge, and that's it. It's perfect. There's no like additional effects. I mean, it's just plain basic classic. And I love it. It's one of my favorite shirts. I need to get it repaired desperately.
Just to add in there, I completely agree with all of that, and I think it definitely is a top kit. But that sponsor for that year is like notoriously known for being just so bad with the production. Every sort of kit that I've gotten with that shirt, like it's just it's so fragile. So it's always like slightly peeled, or you'd be so lucky to just find like an absolute mint one. So yeah, it's nothing personal with your shirt per se. It's just
telling me I'm not
going to say I know it's how he's washing it. That's what I was going to blame it on.
Yeah.
Was that 2016? Did you say, Jeff? I can't remember if I saw correctly.
That was 2010-11.
2010-11. Right. So I've gone the year after yours, the home 11-12, and that's because it has a bit of a special. So I've got it signed over here by Thierry, and obviously it was when he re-signed from the New York Red Bulls for I think he had like a small loan spell, And he came back and he played against Leeds in the FA Cup and he scored. And it was just I supported Arsenal as a kid, but I can't imagine I was as into it as I am now. And my memories, your memories are much more fond of Thierry or much more vivid than mine are. And that sticks out to me quite substantially, that Thierry in that shirt and wheeling away after scoring that goal, after coming back after all that time away. And I just relive it in my head quite a lot. And it's just a really simple kit as well. Obviously, it celebrated that 125th anniversary, so it had like the different crest. But like you say, it's just plain red and white, the right colors, really simple. The problem is when I was writing this down, it's obviously something that's sentimental to me. So like I say, I have got Thierry signed, it's framed. I love it. But we got beat by United, I think 8-2. We obviously weren't wearing the kit, but that season, we were wearing away. So it was a banter season. Like we signed Benayoun, Andre Santos. Like it was an absolute banter season.
Hey, Mikel signed that season.
So this is what I was going to say.
That's the foundations of the club now.
Is that the butterfly effect into where we are now? Maybe. So yeah, that's why that kit means a lot to me. I'm sure we'll get other sentimental kits as we go through it.
So it's interesting you say that. It didn't really come close for me. It just doesn't stand out. But I do have a fond memory of it. I was in the ground when Thierry scored the goal against Leeds.
Wow,
was bar until recently, when in the last 2 years we've had some amazing games in the Emirates when we've been literally falling downstairs, celebrating. Bar that, it was the best night I've ever had in the Emirates. The best like crowd impact that goal made. So that kit does have a fond memory for me. So I understand how you can put that in your top 5, Grev.
That's sick.
Like I said, it's more memories to me, like you say, and that's what some of these will mean, right? There'll be maybe you didn't win the league, or you didn't score loads of goals, you don't like, but all of it means more to me, I suppose.
Yeah.
Right. I've taken some notes about where we're at, 5th place. Let's move on to our 4th place. If you want to write it down, and we'll do a reveal. Let me know when you're ready, and I'll get it prepared. I'll tell you what, I'm gonna do mine first because I just absolutely adore this kit. Right. We ready?
Yeah.
All right. 3, 2.
1 second.
Oh, Rocky's writing that. All right, ready? 3, 2, and 1. Oh, but Jason has got it, and you got 93, 94. Oh man, see, we're very different. It's crazy. I thought this list would be a lot closer, to be honest.
I thought
as it gets awesome.
Black away actually.
Well, we were briefly talking beforehand, and I have it as like an honourable mention because it is, as modern kits go, it's definitely one of our best. Go on, Jace. Tell me. Now I've said it. Go and tell us about 22-23 away.
So this will be
3rd kit actually, wasn't it? Sorry. 3rd kit.
Not the black.
It was away. No, it was away. You're right.
It was away.
Yeah.
So many reasons for this kit. One, it's going to be a future classic. Like in 20 years' time, retro people are going to be buying this for hundreds, right? Because it's just it goes with normal outfits, right? It's black, it's neutral with a little bit of gold, so it is a beautiful kit. And I love the way it's got the club kind of stonework that's obviously outside the ground embedded in it. That's really nice. Just to add to that, I think fastest ever selling kit, like from release, if I remember rightly, stats.
Yep.
So it's a popular kit, right? It's and then 3rd and final, it's the start of the future dawn and domination of football, right? So it's the start of our, what I'd like to call our new reign. You know, we haven't won something yet, but this generation and this team, this identity Arteta's made, that kit represents the start for me. It was that season when we were like, oh shit, we could win something here. So yeah, that's why I love that kit.
It is a banger of a kit. It's a really good kit. Right, you know, we're all good. They're all going to be bangers anyway, right? So when you get into this, I have gone for the 0102 away, the gold Stega kit, because it is just an incredible kit. It is just, we don't often, and I genuinely think there was talk of us maybe releasing something similar if we had won the league, or at least I've seen some stuff that might have been in similar kind of vein to that gold style that we would have done had we have won the league either the year before last or last year. But it was an incredible kit. You know, we won the league title at Old Trafford in it. Will Todd scored that like goal, and it's really well remembered in all the kind of videography that Arsenal kind of play. So many great players in that kit as well, like Perez, Freddie, Bergkamp. Like there's so many players that wore that shirt. And like we were talking about fit earlier, like I said, I love the way that shirt fits. I love the way it kind of just like, and it doesn't go with hardly anything. You're right, like opposite to the back one that you just said, Jace. Right, it doesn't go with like anything because it's like gold. What else do you wear that's gold? I bet Rocky, you've got some fits that you've been cracking out with that gold kit that I just can't think of. But it's an incredible kit.
Yeah, that shirt is so sick, man. Of course, you know, winning the league at Old Trafford, you just can't get better than that. And yeah, it is a bit of an odd one to style, you know, because it's like, yeah, how do you do it? You just wear black trousers, like blue sort
It's
of.
got to be black in it, I guess. So there's little blue accents on it.
But yeah, what a beautiful shirt.
Yeah. But tell me, why is because I know you deal with shirts a lot. Everywhere I look, because I want one, right? As I mentioned, I used to have it with Henri 14, and it's in kid size, and I gave it away, and I still regret it, but it wouldn't fit me anymore anyway. It'd just be on the door like that one. But everywhere I look, it's just like out of all the kits, it's the most expensive one. Like retro kit to get. Like I don't know if that's because they didn't make enough, or whether it's just because of the uniqueness of it being gold, and we won the double that year.
Yeah, I think it's that as well. But it's like if I've got one in my collection, and I don't know about you, but if somebody was to make you an offer for it, you'd sort of lean and think sort of twice if it's even sellable. You know what I mean? So I think a lot of people hold that sort of very close. And if they were to let it go, it would be for like a crazy price. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's one shirt because of the memories behind it, and just even the look of it. You know, you never really see a gold shirt, so to speak. And I know we had the 15-16 Puma away, but you know that didn't come with a league title as well, as you said. So I think it's just that sentimental value, just a sponsor with Nike, the era. I think that's what boosts its value so much. And you know, someone like me, if I had like my one in my collection, I wouldn't let it go cheap. You know what I mean? Or the same that you buy a shirt for now, so to speak.
Yeah, fair enough.
Did you, Rocky, was it 94, 96? I can't remember exactly what
It was not a 394 shirt,
93,
the home one, but it was the FA Cup version. So,
Okay,
yeah, we wore it against Sheffield Wednesday, and obviously we won the cup. Righty scoring a winning goal, and Linegan, of course. It often goes under the radar, I think, but just the way they would do those final shirts back in the day, they were so special. I remember that same shirt we used in the finals against Palmer as well the following season, and it didn't have the JVC under it. It just had the European, I think, details, or something like that. And just such a classy shirt, and the embroidery is just out of this world. You can find them because the club did release them, but again, so rare, so rare to find. It's crazy.
Adidas haven't done a remake of that one, have they?
No, they haven't. They only did the away shirt and the 90 to 92 home.
I've got 1992 home. They've done the away, and then they've done the banana. They did a small selection of the Bruised Banana. And then,
I
don't put any spoilers in. Come on.
Well, no, I just keep looking at the and every year I keep going. Because in the first few years we had Adidas back, they were doing releases all the time of like retro kits.
Yeah.
And now, like last few years, they've not done any. Like they do like the one-off icon shirts or whatever, but they don't actually do a retro release. I'm like, there's so many shirts they could still do. And like, I would just chuck my money at you, Adidas. So just do it. I don't know why.
I completely agree. I was having this convo in the pub today with one of my friends, and he was saying, he's sort of on the flip side, which may be what Adidas is thinking about. They don't want to saturate the market with just sort of gold dust, so to speak, or just recycle the vintage. But someone like me, I'm like, give me a 1989 away shirt, man. Drop it next week. I'm first one to buy it. You know, like they're just so hard and expensive to come by. I just wish there was just, you know, a throwback or a hark back to it, so we can get a taste of what the people back in the day felt like, just walking down Highbury or Holloway wearing those beautiful shirts. But yeah, to add on what you were saying, there isn't a re-release this year, sadly, because I do know we're stocking a Icon shirt, so it's like a cannon with a trefoil logo again. So yeah,
I
sadly.
think I saw that one, Lee. Is that the green, maybe black and green? I can't remember what it was.
No, that's the it's a dark blue one, right?
Yeah, we've seen the leaks. Yeah.
I was going to say, like, when we won the FA Cup in 2017, obviously they did the kit where it had the kind of FA Cup in the middle of it. Because I think I got that one, and the one where we got it when it was, which year was when we had Always Forward and they had 14. Aubameyang scored the COVID one. Is that 21?
2021, yeah.
21, yeah.
Both
of the.
Got a tattoo. I don't know if you can see it. It says Always Forward.
Oh yeah, in that Gothic font. That font is so sick.
Yeah.
But like I said, those kits now that I snap them up, because like you say, they don't really make them as much anymore. And those rare occasions where we do kind of get to a final or win a cup, like those kits kind of go down. Like I've got that upstairs, and it's like one of those kits that like you say, you won't want to let it go because it has memories and stuff for you that you'll remember. That is like, really sick. Nice. Right, let's move on then to our third place. I think this is when hopefully I'm going to be really surprised. I reckon Rocky has gone like, because you got very specific. That FA Cup one was like, that's super specific.
Gonna be a bit specific again. I can't lie.
Oh, that's right. I mean, it's fine. I just thought we might get into a place where we start getting similar kits, but let's see. Right, I'm writing mine down now.
I noticed my face is awkwardly in the camera. I'm so sorry, guys.
Don't worry about it.
Don't worry about it.
Right. You boys ready?
Yes, sir.
Right.
Yeah.
3, 2, 1, and go.
Oops.
Everyone's done the same thing. How there you go. Just literally said it then. All right. Nice.
Always forward.
Go on then, Jace. I'll let you go first since you've not had the pleasure yet.
Okay. So this is the dark blue third kit with green cast in yellow. From 2001, maybe 2002, I think as well. We 2002, 2001, and 2001 and 02. I remember it because actually we wore it in the Champions League at home. I think we played Sparta Prague, and we had a kit clash. So we wore the blue, and then it was because Sparta Prague's shirt was like the color of the shirt you're wearing now, Grev. It was like the dark red, and ours was dark blue. We had to switch, I think, at half time to our away kit because, like, on TV, like, it was really bad. But there's something about that. I am very. I think, Grev, you know this about me, but I'm very picky with my kits. I like my classic colors, and my classic colors are always red and white home, obviously. Obviously, I take an exception to a banger of an Adidas kit for being whatever color it needs to be as the away kit. But traditionally, I'm happy with a yellow and dark blue, like this kit. Perfect, love it. And then third shirt, in my opinion, should always be dark blue and yellow. Always. We've had so many dark blue third shirts with a hint of yellow. And that Dreamcast kit was perfect. I remember having it as a kid, and I wore it religiously. I wore it more than any other kit. Again, another one I want to get back in an adult size and try and find is just a beautiful kit. And I think we had an absolute stormer of a game in the Champions League. We didn't wear that kit much. We didn't wear it much.
No.
But it was a beautiful kit. And the Adidas
Dreamcast one, right?
Yeah. And the Adidas release of it, I did a kind of the third kit. Their first season, Adidas, I think, pretty much nailed all of their home shirts that year, because the home shirt was a classic. First year of Adidas when it came back, classic look on the home shirt with the collar, a remake of a modern take on a Bruised Banana, and then the third shirt being dark blue with the yellow on it. I was like, oh, that's just perfect. Like, I if they could do another year like that, I'd love it. But yeah, even I've got the Adidas, what I call the Adidas remake still. I had to iron back on the Adidas patch the other day because it's plastic.
Yeah.
and it fell off. But yeah, just love those colors. Love those colors.
I'm
Nice.
with
Yeah.
you.
There's not many blue. My son has that blue one. I agree. It's really simple and really quite like it's very rare, I think, nowadays because everyone's trying to one-upmanship of how not crazy, but how different those shirts and stuff can be. And sometimes when you come across with just a simple, effective design and color palette, it just works.
Yeah.
Right, Rocky, you said, was it 20, the always forward kit? I'm assuming that's the one we just discussed, right? Which is from the FA Cup win.
Yeah, you kind of jog my memory, really. You know what's crazy? Like when I do top fives and top threes, or even my favorite, it tends to change quite a bit. But I always feel like this one sneaks in there due to like how significant it was for me at the time. Like personally, like 2020 was just a crazy year. We all went through some craziness in COVID. For some people, it came, at the right time. So for me, for example, that's when I really fell in love with the shirts and Arsenal times 100, because it was just we had so much time on our hands, and when we missed football for a bit and then we came back, completed the season, had that amazing run in the FA Cup, and just being behind closed doors constantly, like seeing the team, and that finals and everything like that. It was so special, and just that that's a reason alone for why I love the shirt. And then the shirt itself, like even the design, just the always forward font on the back. After we won that finals, and just the patches that came with it, the BLM, the NHS, the heads up. It was, when you look back on it in 20 years, like you can see that it's such a timestamp on what society was at that point, and it's just crazy. I don't think we quite realize it as much now, but I think when we do look back on it, it will be so important to us. And yeah, so for me, I think that was just a crazy time, and I sort of appreciate Aubameyang and Arsenal helping me through it. So yeah, beautiful shirt for me. That's got to be in my top three. So that's the one.
That's actually like really, really nice like story that you've kind of told behind it. That kind of makes you think that that's it's personal to you. Because I would even say it just jogged my memory. So I went to the first game back. I think it was against Brighton, and I got a picture of it on my phone because I was like, it's we obviously had separate seats. You had the bags over the seats, and you were all separated. And it was just a really weird, obviously, time to watch football. And then like I remember watching the final in a friend's garden where you weren't supposed to go in people's houses.
Yes.
So like we moved the TV into the garden so we could watch it outside and like socially distance as it was at the time. Yeah, just like that. You're right, because I think at the time when nobody had anything and football, like that was our escape, that was your thing to get back into it and to win that cup. We look back on it now because no one really wants to remember COVID because it was like such a rubbish time. But you're probably right, when you reflect on it in say 10, 15, 20 years, it'll mean probably more to us than we probably think about it now.
Yeah, 100%. And after the game as well, everyone like sort of nearby, because I do remember they were opening pubs slyly, or I don't know what the law requirements, etc. were. I think it was either 2 meter rule or just someone allowed to show it or whatever, but people got away with it. And everybody after in the area stormed to the Emirates, and it was just like carnage. Like, it was so good. And it was so sad that we didn't get like a open top bus parade or whatever, because that would have been amazing. But hopefully one will come soon.
We'll get it. We'll get it.
Yeah.
Right. So mine was this shirt. I'm wearing it right now. Because like it's just very iconic. It's a very different color palette to any other shirts that we've kind of ever had. It obviously harks back to when the club first started. It has fond memories of Highbury as a kid. I've only ever gone. I mean, I've only watched football at Highbury once. We played Liverpool. The only reason I kind of remember it quite fondly, even though I was quite young, although my memory's fuzzy, so I'll probably have to watch it back on YouTube. Liverpool got a penalty. Fowler stepped up for the penalty, I think, and he told the goalkeeper which way he was going to go because it was a dive, or like he said it was a dive, but the referee had already given it. And then the goalkeeper saved it, and then Steve McManaman rolled up afterwards and scored the rebound. And that year, Robbie Fowler won Fair Player of the Year award, and that's what kind of sticks
Was
out to
that-
me. So I think it was like,
2-2?
yeah,
Yeah, that was 2-2. Yeah, I remember. Yeah.
but it's like I'm like, yeah, I was probably like 8 or 9 at the time, so it's a lot, a long time ago for me. But Highbury has such a special place for all Arsenal fans, like particularly if you go to the Emirates now and you walk past it and you see all the facade on the front, you see the marble halls, and it's just this. I love this kit purely on the basis it is very quite different to a lot of kits that obviously we've had. It's very iconic in terms of what it meant to us. It's a shame that season wasn't as meaningful as we would like it to be, I suppose. And it's a shame that, through all the success that we had in the early 2000s and late 90s, that we couldn't maybe do a bit more during this shirt, which is a bit of a shame. And I think, was it the year that we got to the Champions League final as well, right?
Yeah.
Which obviously has awful memories for most Arsenal fans. Yeah. And I was watching back some goals, there was Robin van Persie until he left was one of my favourite players. I absolutely loved Robin van Persie. I still remember the day that I was on a coach coming back from Stoke. I'd done my first day at a new job, and I got a text from a friend saying that Van Persie's gone to Man United, and he basically said like the boy. There was a quote where he went something like the boy inside me said I had to leave or something like this.
Boy inside me.
I was furious. I was so angry. But he was one of my favorite players. There's a goal. I think in like Arsenal's top 10 goals of that year, it was number 2 or number 1, and it's just an incredible goal. He was an incredible player. I actually think like we talked a little bit on the pod about maybe Havertz being quite similar to Van Persie in some respect. And yeah, that just it just has a lot of good memories of Highbury, good memories of that whole of Wenger, and it's just a great kit. Yeah. I wonder. I'm debating whether or not you two have got it on your list. I'm gonna wait and see. We're gonna move on to number 2. Let's get that written down. How niche are you going this time, Rocky?
Sorry.
How niche are you going this time?
Oh man, I don't know. So difficult.
I like that you're doing this like this. It's really
yeah.
making me...
You know what? I just let it come natural to me. Like,
good. If I said, I was like, how do I spell this word? Might give it away. Right, I'm gonna. Right, you ready, Jace?
Yeah.
Rocky's writing his.
Oops.
Right. I didn't see it. It's all right. Right. 3, 2, and 1. Oh, there you go. See, we've all gone different again.
Wow.
Right. I'll tell you what. I mean, I'll just go first purely on the basis that I don't think you need to say very much about it. To be honest, it's the Bruised Banana, and I think it's just because it's just a cult kit. I mean, I'm going to be honest, and like I'd have to look up games. I'd have to look up what we did. I'd have to look up all these things because the memories are super hazy to me as a kid. But it's just it's one of those kits that will just extend through history for Arsenal. It will always go down as one of those kits that is iconic with our club, brings a lot of memories and nostalgia to a lot of people. It's incredibly, I think it's like light years ahead of its time. Like in terms of it's the kind of things that you probably see a bit more nowadays, but back in those days, this was kind of like, this is mental. You don't do that with football shirts. They were always very calm, collected, solid color palettes. And obviously they remade it. Was that 2020 season? Which I think.
Yeah, it was when they released. It was the 2000. Yeah, when they released. Basically, it was first year of Adidas, wasn't it? It was the first retro release.
Yeah, and like I say, yeah, of course they're going to, because it's such an incredible kit, and it's just I've got it. Where have I got it? Somewhere behind me. There you go. It's up there. It's just a great kit, and I just don't think I don't think we'll ever get as an iconic kit as that ever. I don't think. I just think it'll go down as one of those kits that's just remembered for eternity through the echelons of Arsenal.
So let me ask you a question on that.
Do
you actually like it though? Would you wear it?
So this is my thing. It's a good question. Yellow's my favorite color. I love yellow, and I don't know. It's because it signals to me happy. Like it's a happy color. Like if you wear I don't think you can ever be like angry or sad or like whatever in it when you're like wearing yellow, because it's just like it's quite vibrant and Yeah, but would I wear it, Jace? Questionable. I'm going to ask Rocky. I was going to say to him, we talk about fits for the gold kit. How are you going to fit that? Like, I don't know what that doesn't go with anything other than black.
I'm joking. No, it's not easy. You could wear it with dungarees, and you could look like a minion. That's what I did actually, because I've got like I'm not trying to plug, but I've got a separate page on my Instagram where I style kits, and I actually
Is that Rocky Fits? Is that Rocky Fits? Is that right?
Yeah, it's one of the fits, and someone commented. So I wore them with dungarees, and someone was like, "Oh, you look like a minion." And I was like, "Crap!" it wasn't that one specifically. It was the 1920 away, but it sort of has that same vibe, doesn't it? But yeah, but I mean, to style it, man, it takes some serious guts to throw it on, doesn't it? It's quite.
You could do. I've seen who is it that has some? I think it might be She Wore has made like swimming trunks.
Yeah, that's crazy.
wear the whole kit with a Bruised Banana bucket hat, and maybe that's the way to go.
Even a face mask. They do face
They
masks.
did, yeah, they did. Yeah. So that's mine. Who would like to go next? Was it 94, 95 home for you, Rocky?
Yeah, it was actually one in the 96, 97 season as well. My bad. I should put 96 there. But yeah, for me, I think when you talk about class, innovation, like just culture, fashion wear and sports and football, I think this one's got to be up there, the 94, 95, 96. Of course, we didn't have the best in terms of, on the pitch seasons with that shirt. But, we did have Dennis Bergkamp come through. We did have Righty as well, breaking down doors with just cutting off his collar, being a bit mischievous there. But it was our first season with Nike, and that sort of 20-year tenure contract that we had with them was just so cool. And this was the birth of that. So it's always good to sort of look at the roots and really sort of appreciate the style. And the designer, his name is Drake Ramberg. He's still quite prominent on social media. So check him out on Insta. His name is Dramberg on there, and he talks about the design and everything like that. And I just find it so insightful to see, just the way they came up with this shirt and just the history behind it, the motif on the back bottom that just says Arsenal in the Gothic font. The lightning bolts, which we still see today in our kits and our gear. I could talk about this shirt for ages, man, but it's just so good. Even the name sets was so sick. It just had the block writing, similar to like a hockey jersey, but it had the swoosh in there as well. I wish I had all my shirts next to me now because I could have shown you guys. But top tier. It could be number one, but I'll save the number one for the number one. But yeah.
I like the bit at the bottom, the gunners along the bottom, I think is always super iconic. And there's not many other shirts that have really done that since that year, right?
Yeah, so we had so for that year it said Arsenal in the Gothic writing, and then the season after was the Gunners. But it's funny because they put arse on the arse, so to speak. So that was sort of like a little cheeky message there from the designers, like a little Easter egg, they said.
Those kits are so timeless, I think. Like, as you say, like they were so innovational back in the day. But like, I remember taking a picture of me. I've got both those kits, like the home and the away, not the dark blue and the red. They're basically the same kit, right? Just different colors. And I remember in 1920 when Nike released their third kits, we'd left, we'd gone Adidas, but I think it might have been Spurs' first season with Nike, and Paris Saint-Germain as well had a really nice kit. They released these third kits that had the retro Nike logo, like that shirt has, with all the patterns in and big collars. And there was a Paris third kit that it was white. Grev must remember me telling you about it. I was so close to buying it. And I loved them just because the retroness, and it felt like that old kit again. And then I put that, it just made me get it out the wardrobe and wear it, just because like it was just such a nostalgic element. Like it's such a timeless shirt, I think.
Oh yeah.
I like the fact that you mentioned the cut, because we have a friend. We went to the Wolves game at the weekend. He has also cut his collar out of his shirt to copy Ian Wright. It was just reminded me of it. Jace, what did you have? Did you have 98-99 home? Was that right?
Yeah, 98-99 home to the one behind me. I mean, obviously it's already been discussed quite heavily, but for me, it was just two reasons. I started watching Arsenal when I was probably about 6 or 7. It was actually the season before, because my neighbour, which was Spence, and my dad were both Arsenal fans, so they kind of got me into it. But that was my kind of first season exploring, 97-98, when we won the double, and it hooked me. And then 98-99 is when I just got pure addiction. I stayed up every night to watch Match of the Day. It doesn't matter what time that they put Arsenal on. Dennis Bergkamp was my idol, hence he's got on the back of the shirt there. And I just became absolutely in love with Arsenal that year. And it hurt as well because we should have won the double that year. But we lost the league on the final game of the season. We got knocked out in the semi-final by Man United in the FA Cup after a replay. And then obviously they went on to win the treble. But I just fell in. That was the year I properly fell in love with Arsenal. That kit also resembles the first ever game I went to. So Grev and I have a good mate who we call Soccer Dad, he took me to my first Arsenal game when I was 8, 9. And we played. It was actually that season we had Dreamcast on the front because we switched sponsors halfway through, and we played Middlesbrough and we won 5-1. Overmars scored a hat trick, and Bergkamp still to this day, he got the ball on the outside of the area, did a turn through 2 players, and just whipped it into the corner like from outside the area, and I sat right behind it in the North Bank, and it was just the most memorable goal I think ever for me in the ground was from the first game, and I still remember it like in my eyes today. I love that kit. I need to buy an adult one because I love it.
Sick, so good.
Yeah, I love that you've got such vivid memories as well, Jace, of like what it means to you. I think that's like what the attachment is. Right, we've made it to the top of the mountain. I actually think I was just right when I was going through the list. It looks like we've only had one kit, which is that one that you just described, Jace. So it's actually, I think Rocky had it 5th, I think, or 4th, and then that one. So that one, I'm surprised that's the only one. So let's see where we're at with our number 1.
Can I predict that everyone's gonna have the same number 1?
I don't think. Yeah, well, I don't know. Actually, maybe I don't think he will because Rocky's going to be. He's going to have something up his sleeve that's going to have.
I'm going to be like 1929.
It's actually the 1886 home kit.
I won't. Don't worry, guys. I won't.
I don't know. Right. I reckon maybe me and you might be then, Jace. Let's see.
You know what I realized though? I haven't done an away shirt in all of these, which is quite crazy.
You have, yeah.
I actually thought that before we did this, loads of people were going to do away shirts because like Adidas and Nike in their retro years, they were like away shirts were so inventive. And I wondered whether people are going to go sentimental or whether they're going to go crazy with like wacky designs.
Yeah.
And I was expecting more away shirts.
We've obviously gone sentimental, Jace.
Yeah.
Right, I'm ready. Jace ready. Rocky, you ready?
Yep, I'm ready.
Let's see where we're at then. 3, 2, 1. Okay, with me and Jace, have you done it as well?
You guys got it right.
Oh, it's close. Me and Jace got it.
Oh, I'm sorry.
What's yours? 05? Is yours 0506, Rocky?
Yeah, I had to be extra. I'm so sorry.
It's all right. Nah, I get you. Right. Go on. You go first then, Rocky, because me and Jace can then marry up. Yeah.
Okay, so this one is a special shirt for me. Similar to what you were saying, Jace, about just having your first sort of vivid memories as an Arsenal fan. It isn't my very first, because my first memory was the 04-05 season FA Cup final. But it was just that staple moment of Vieira kicking the pen, blah, blah, blah. But this season, the 05-06, the final salute season, this one was my just earliest memories of Arsenal. I was about 5, 6 years old at the time, which is still very, very young. Not enough to quite understand the sentiment of Highbury and just everything that went on there. So it was hard to grasp, but still I felt it. I felt, the sadness among the crowd, yet just that excitement at the same time with the move to the Emirates on that very final day against Wigan. I was sort of in and around the area. I didn't go to a match at Highbury, but still just being there, it was such a sweet experience. And it was one of the very few times that I actually went to do something football related with my dad. And so that was quite sweet. He doesn't really follow Arsenal, but he does sort of embrace those sort of big events. So that was sweet. And then just everything about it, man, the classiness of the kit itself, just Thierry Henry being in his absolute prime, him kissing the turf after scoring the pen, just even the gold font on the back, just that style was just beautiful. Even the wristbands they used to wear, the half black, half white ones, and just the stand up, speak up campaign, and the magazines, just everything about that season, the total 90 is just amazing. Nostalgia at its finest. And on the flip side of that, going back to the shirt and the fonts itself, we actually had a Champions League style cup font, which, back in the day, don't really pay attention to that stuff. Not like today where that selection is sort of available. And it was in like a gold sort of vinyl. And that for me is just the pinnacle of classiness when it comes to Arsenal kits. It's just so, so nice. And that's what stands out for me, those UCL nights. And I could, again, another shirt I could blabber on for another 10 hours, guys. It's just so amazing to discuss it. And I could chat all day about it. But that for me, I actually got Diaby on the back of my kit that year. Which is
me and Jason talked a lot about Diaby because it's one of those players. It kind of feels like another one of those, the one that could have been, because everyone always talks about. I think it's that Liverpool game, right, where everyone's like, "That's the one." Like you're right, he could have been an absolutely immense player had it not been for injuries plaguing his career. That's such an interesting choice of a shirt.
It was just a typical silly thing to do as a kid where you open up the Arsenal mag, you see like 3 new signings. I think it was Theo, Adebayor, and then there was Diaby. And I was like, I want Diaby number 2. And my godmother at the time, she was like, why not? Grab the shirt. I think it was like my birthday near around the corner or something. And she gifted it to me. And special shirt.
Oh, nice. Grev's got that. You got Omri on the back.
Yeah, you probably won't be able to see it, but I have got the there you go. Omri on the back.
I've got my own net. So that was it got released in, because kits was get released in June or July, and it's always my birthday end of June. So most years of my life, I've had an Arsenal shirt as a birthday present. And that year I was 14. I just got Jason 14 on the back, but it's the gold felt. It's not just gold plastic, it's the gold felt on the Premier League font I love. I say I love felt font. I still wish we did.
You just don't get it nowadays, because it's like even the shirts with the printing nowadays, it just doesn't feel like it's made to last. That's what it kind of feels like. It's quite, I don't know, we all know about like fast fashion and stuff, and obviously kits nowadays, like we all talk about getting kits as kids. Like nowadays, even when I'm thinking about buying kits for my kids, they're £80 a pop. Like the kits, they're just so incredibly expensive to kind of do it. It feels like an investment more than anything else nowadays.
2 washes through the machine though, and it's ruined. My wife keeps I'm now, like, we've agreed that basically I can't put any shirts in the wash, because even though she puts it on a low heat wash, like the lettering and stuff's still getting ruined. I've got so many nice shirts that have been ruined. Luckily only one Arsenal one, which was a Puma one with Xhaka on the back. But I had like a World Cup winning 2014 Germany Mesut Ozil shirt with the gold World Cup like champions badge in the middle.
Nice.
And she washed it and it's pristine. And I wore it to Germany because I was in Germany for the Euros, and I went to a pub full of Germans to watch a game. So I was wearing it, and she washed it the other week, and like the black's come off the back of Ozil and it's now faded into the white on the shirt. And I'm like, I need to see if I can get it restored, because I'm like, that's worth a lot of money, that shirt.
Yeah.
But yeah, shirts just aren't made the same. It's frustrating, right? And I've had a few from the club where in the last few years where within like one wear and the lettering or the Premier League badge or the Champions League badge has been peeling, and you got to like iron it back on, and it's just like they're not built.
I reckon we're starting to think that Jason can't take care of his clothes. I reckon it's that.
There's nothing wrong with my clothes.
Yeah. Well, we got the Invincibles kit, right, Jace? That is something that probably is made to last because we're not replacing that, and I think. Well, you like I say, your memories are going to be much more vivid than mine. But like, I suppose I chose it purely on the basis that I don't think it's one of those things that will ever be replicated. We've seen teams try recently and get kind of close, and maybe some of us might be a bit nervy when Liverpool were almost there, I think. And it's one of those things that I think it was just yeah. I mean, they weren't even close yet, but it's one of those things that I just don't think will ever be copied. We got a gold trophy. And that kit will simply just go down because it's not a particularly, like I said, it's a very simple color palette. It's a very simple design. I think I just recall Thierry Henry knee slides. That's just what I see in that kit is what I see. And it just, I think it means so much to us as a club of what we've achieved. Like, when you talk to Chelsea or you talk to United about the European Cups that they've won and those kind of things, this is what we always use as why Arsenal are the greatest team, because we're the team to do it. And so that's what it means to kind of me. Go on, Jace. I'm sure you've got more vivid goals or memories than I do.
I mean, the reasons you say are the same. It just this kit immortalizes my childhood and Thierry Henry especially. So, you can't see it, but on my wall here, I've got 2 illustrations of Thierry Henry. And they're all, both the illustrations have got him in the Invincible shirt. Most importantly, sliding on his knees in front of the Tottenham fans after running the pitch to score the goal and then running all the way back across the pitch, then slide in front of the Spurs fans. One of the perfect reasons, aside from the fact that we were invincible in that shirt, that I love that shirt, and it's cast in bronze outside the stadium, right? So it's forever in Arsenal folklore and legendary. Also, the goals that were scored on that kit. I went in. I've got the DVD of all of Omri and Bergkamp and Wright's goals, and I went back and just looked through it the other night. The goal against Liverpool, where he runs half of the pitch and makes Carragher slip up on his feet and scores in the bottom corner, banger. Goal against Leeds, again, power straight through their defence, banger. Goal against Spurs, banger. Man United goal. Do you remember the Man United goal when he's outside the area and he just hits it, and the whip where it just like puts the keeper off, it's going one way and it hits the other. Great goal. There's a goal against City as well at home at Highbury. He's on the edge of the area, just banger after banger of goals. And that's just forever going to be my favourite Arsenal kit. I think Arsenal could release 1 million different shirts between now and when I die, and I still say the Invincibles kit's the best kit ever.
Wow.
Yeah, I like that. Well, I'm looking down the list, and there was probably this one, the 0506 home, the Invincible shirt, and I think it was the 98, 99 or the 99, 2000 home shirt. Those 3 seem like they're in the list somewhere. They've all got points, I think, between those 3. I think we're going to have a hard time splitting them. But I've really enjoyed it. I think the most thing I've enjoyed out of all of us is to listen to the memories that come with them, that they're not just about what we did that season particularly, or even some of those kits we actually had rubbish seasons. I think you said it, Rocky, 94, 95. It's like, it's not a season that you'll remember or recall for anything worthwhile that we might have done, but it kind of means more to you, or the designs mean a lot to you. So I really enjoyed that part. So thank you very much for joining us. It's been an absolute pleasure. If you've watched this and you've enjoyed the content, like I said, please do give the channel a subscribe. Please do give the video a like. Also leave a comment down below. Let us know what your favorite kit of Arsenal is of all time. And other than that, Jace, if they're listening to this, actually, I don't know if I'm going to upload this for listening. I don't know if it'll go down as well.
Listen to it. Well, you can listen to it. You just have to know what the shirts look like, right?
Exactly. Yeah, exactly.
You're on Spotify.
Yeah. So if you're on Spotify, Jace, what do we need him to do there?
If you can give us a 5-star review, 5-star no less, else Grev gets angry. You don't want to make him angry. No. Any kind of review, we always appreciate it. Great to hear feedback. So yeah, on your podcast provider of choice, Apple Pods, Spotify, or anything else you listen on.
Lovely. Cool. Well, thank you. Hope you've enjoyed it, and we will see you this weekend. Me and Jace will probably have to sort out how we're going to be podding for Villa. Before I sign off, let's give us some predictions. What do we think for this weekend? I'm going to hand over to you first, Rocky. What do you reckon?
Put me on the spot.
I'm doing it.
You know what? I think it's time we beat them, man. This last season, I think would have haunted the players. Certainly haunted us as fans. I'm going to go 2-1. I think might concede. Depends on what the back line is saying. But I'm going to say we'll pull through with a win for sure. 2-1.
Yeah, I think that left back choice is the one that I think is probably the questionable one. Do you reckon?
In. Yeah, without doubt. Timber's in.
Yeah, I think if Zinni plays, you're right. It's probably it leaves us susceptible. But in terms of fitness and readiness, he's probably the player that is there.
Yeah.
What do you reckon then, Jace?
3-1. Arsenal.
It's always Jason always does a 3-1. I was thinking that. Do you reckon Arteta? So I've seen obviously on Twitter over the last few days, Arteta obviously commonly goes in with some form of thing in his team talks, and I suspect he might pull up the latest tweet from Villa that talked about the limbs in the whole end when John McGinn scored against us, and he will just put that in front of those players and go, show this guy what's what. We absolutely, I'd love us to demolish them. I can't see it because they're a very well-oiled, drilled machine. And in both games last season, they gave us a really difficult time. We were there at the home game, right, Jason? It was not great. That was probably the time when not the wheels fell off, but it was like that time when we were like, it's going to make the climb a lot harder.
You knew when I look back at all the results of last year, I'm like, that game lost us the league title. We had that bad spell over Christmas, but we got past it. That game was the game. We had that run from February onwards, right? And that was the one game we lost.
You know what? After that, right, I was there in the ground as well. I didn't feel like we lost it at that point. I still had an inkling of hope, that City would slip up, because I genuinely thought we were flawless, had a blip. A blip is okay. We need to normalize blips. But by the end of it, I guess we couldn't because City ran away with it. But it's just mad. You've got to be perfect, and we have to rectify ourselves from the back end of that. We got to win those losses, so to speak.
Yeah, I look at that, like say City slipping up and not slipping up is so robotic. I think I always look back. We were talking in the car about this, like that Son 1-on-1 at the. Honestly, I couldn't believe it. I've never cheered a Spurs goal. I was very close to. I would have bet my house on him scoring that goal. Anyway, I don't want to dig up old scar tissue. Going to get us really angry. Going to get us really, So, anyway, Rocky, been a pleasure. Thank you very much for joining us. And like I say, we'll see you again very, very soon. So thank you very much for joining us.
Thank you, man. Appreciate it.